Yo, what's up, old school law? I am Dantron69K back again with another hot group, and I know it's super hot where some of you guys are at right now. Holy smokes, Wolfman, you still getting rained out?
No, it's actually the weather was pretty decent today. Um,
Nice,
Rained for a little bit, but we're good now.
sweet. Well, I'm happy that you guys are all here. First off, I just introduced my co-pilot, Wolfman.
What's up, everybody?
We got returning again, getting our problem solved with Eric. Problem solved with Eric. Backlog Arcade with Eric. Welcome.
What's up?
Down in the dessert position, we have Winbush again. Winbush Gaming. Welcome back, my friend.
What up? What up?
Awesome. And then up there in the left upper corner on my screen, we got Wales.
What's up? Whale of a Time Retro is here.
That's right. Go and check him out. Whale of a Time Retro. Hey, was it just your split second one? Was that the last one you threw out? I saw you started throwing out some shorts now too.
Yeah, so I've been putting out some shorts. I've been finding a lot of my older lives that I shot way back in Texas when I was there, and I've been cutting them up and just throwing up gameplay of certain requests that I've done. I did find a special tribute episode that I did shoot, and I'm going to be posting that up at a later time. Yeah, just going through and trying to get some more shorts out there and continue the split second.
It's not the greatest song in the world. It's just a tribute.
No, it's the tribute episode I did about one of our friends.
Yeah.
That passed on and stuff, and so I did a tribute live stream in his honor and stuff. I thought I'd lost it when Facebook tried to just delete me from existence.
Yeah.
And I was able to save a lot of my live streams that I did there, and I found that one, so I'm going to be posting it up to my channel later on this year on the anniversary. So
sweet. Right on, dude. And then look who slid in there.
No,
just slid in like you were sliding into home. Shadow Gaming.
Hi, everybody.
All right. We couldn't go without that. You know what would have been hilarious, though, is if you would have tried to do sign language as we were doing this the whole time. Just you in the middle like an interpreter. So I know we're all laughing right now. Thanks, you guys, for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and hang out. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting talk. I know there's been a lot of things going around over the past, especially the past week. Just all heck has been breaking loose online. And so, Wolfman, what brings us all together today?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of stuff happening in the video game industry, and public enemy number one right now seems to be Sony, which is interesting because not too far in the distant past, it was our friends at Nintendo with the key cards and, having to be online and all that stuff. And Nintendo caught a lot of heat, but it's looking like Nintendo might end up being one of the big three having actual games on a card compared to Sony and Microsoft, if you are reading the tea leaves right now as far as what's happening. So I'm sure we're going to get into talking about all that stuff.
Yeah, this is kind of a state of gaming that we are. I mean, so there's a lot of things going on in modern gaming. Some, of course, the ever-changing retro market and all that kind of stuff. So all right, I just want to open this up. Give us what's running through your brain right now with everything that's been going on, and it could be with Sony, it could be with whatever. Just let's start the ball rolling. What do you got?
All right, I'll start. I am so pissed. I got to be honest with you. As a gamer and a retro collector, and being a Sony fanboy, going all the way back to the PS1, I am so pissed off at the things that they're rolling out that they want to do in the future, like getting rid of all physical media and shutting down the PS3 server and PS Vita and not allowing for gamers to be able to see their playtime. And it's really irritating, and it's very sad to me that this could be the end of an era. And there'll be some people, some young kids right now, as I'm speaking, that might never be able to understand what it's like to own physical media, have an instruction manual, being able to own the game that you bought, being able to lend it out to a friend, being able to sell it privately or walk into GameStop or a retro game store and sell your game, being able to display your game on a shelf. It seems like that's coming to an end. And it's not just Sony. I think Microsoft is going to follow suit. And we've already seen Nintendo dabble with this with their key cards. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed as a gamer. I am really mad. And I'd love to hear from you guys. And I feel betrayed from Sony because I've been a loyal consumer for a long time. I've bought all of their products, and I feel like this is how they're going to treat their consumers. And I know it's all about money and the bottom line, and they want to own their IPs, and they don't want it to fall in the hands of the people. But I think we should do something about that. I think the people should rise up. Should be retro revolutionary war all over again, and people should speak out with their wallets and not support. And that includes me. And that means if I can't play TMT Splintered Fate with Wales because I canceled my PS Plus subscription, so be it. The consumers need to tell Sony that what they're doing is unacceptable. And if they don't do anything and they just sit back with their thumbs up there, then this is what's going to happen.
I have a question for you, Wolfman. So if you have all these PlayStation Plus games in your library, what happens? You got all this access. You buy, get these games from them. What happens if you decide that you don't want to do PlayStation Plus anymore because they decided to raise the price again because they forced everybody to go into their digital ecosystem? What happens there?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be mad. I mean, first off, anybody that downloaded any of the free games through the free tiers, you could lose those games at a moment's notice to begin with. But the PS Plus allows me to multiplay with you guys, right? So if I don't buy PS Plus, then I can't do any of the online multiplayer stuff. And I'm stuck in the single player world because that's how Sony, right, makes their money and gets people to get into the multiplayer sphere like the Xbox Live was, right? So, and they've already raised their prices constantly. I mean, Wales and I were looking at the tiers. I couldn't even believe what am I spending? Like $175 a year or something?
I think you're $150. I think it's $150 for the premium, I want to say. I jogged in at the lowest, and the lowest is now $80. It's $80 a year, and then the mid tier was, I think, 120. That's the only 3 levels you have, so it's 80, 120, and 150. So,
what do you think, Eric? What do you think? What's going? I see it. I see your mind going. Just dump it on us, dude. What's going on? We love you.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when, relatively speaking, it wasn't that long ago when, like, the gaming industry didn't make a whole bunch of money. It was like, even if you had a hit game, you probably turned a profit, but you weren't rolling in a whole bunch of money. And then somewhere, like they flipped the industry to this industry that needs to make, billions of dollars and stuff like that. And, I think that's kind of where it went weird, and they started being real predatory with stuff. But I mean, that's kind of like a really, really broad overview of, like, I think how we got here. But like, it used to be, like, if you take a really popular, like, what's a super popular retro game? Like, like Chrono Trigger or Mega Man or something like that, right? Yeah, there you go. Like that game made a bunch of money, right? But in today's standards, that game didn't make anything compared to like, you know, a current like Fortnite or something. Now again, that's we're talking about a single player game versus like a game as a service. But and it's hard, it's kind of comparing apples and oranges, but really what we've kind of gotten to is like every game is a service. And that sucks. And there's like a bunch of single player games where it's like, oh, this game's single player, but you have to be online. It's like, well, why the do I gotta be online? Well, how else are we going to advertise to you? How else are we going to make you buy the latest outfit? How else are we gonna, you know, sell the Ariana collab to you? Like, you have to be online. And then they disguise it where it's like, well, we need to patch it. Well, games used to not be patchable.
They came out with their flaws and all. And
yeah, there was a time when games weren't patchable. And
they could double dribble the shot that always made it no matter what.
Right. So, you know, it's like
corner.
Yeah,
we've gotten to this point now where it's just, I mean, I kind of compare it to, if I have to, just a quick metaphor it, like you go to like a famous food town, like a famous food town, like what's a famous food town here in the U.S., like Chicago or New York or something, right? And you go to New York, and you know, you go to New York to eat pizza or something, like you're probably not going to Pizza Hut. Like you're just probably not going to, right? And you know, and it's like, well, why aren't you going there? Well, that's the mass-produced garbage that I don't want anything to do with. I'm in New York. I want the best of the best that New York's got to offer. That's probably a mom and pop shop that's like been there for 130 years. That's just like, oh yeah, we have the best pizza ever, and there's a line out the door that, you know, that you wait hours in line for. Well, the gaming industry is kind of like that now, where it's like everything kind of became mass-produced garbage, where it's like everything became a Pizza Hut or a McDonald's or something like that. And then you've got like these smaller studios that are creating like these brilliant little pieces, these gems and stuff that you have to like go and search and find. And what I wish is that more people would kind of vote with their dollar and support those gems and advertise for them and stuff like that, rather than like, well, I just want to play a first-person shooter with my friends, so I'm going to jump into Fortnite. Not that there's anything wrong with Fortnite. If you like Fortnite, that's fine. It's not my cup of tea, but it's like, you know, I'll eat Pizza Hut occasionally, so, you know, it's the same thing, and it there's just too much to say, and I'm too upset about it, and it really pisses me off. But we just got into a bad spot, and I'll get into more specifics later. But yeah, that's my opinion on things.
Yeah, we could see the writing on the walls. We kind of knew what they were wanting to do. Like, if you think backwards, like run it backwards, you start thinking like when Xbox 360 started having, you know, downloadable games, we thought it was cool, and they were like cheaper, and then DLC was really getting hot and popular at that point. And then, you know, PS3 was kind of doing that as well, and it's kind of like, all right, I could see this. I mean, it started in original Xbox and all that kind of stuff, but really it was still like a supplemental piece, right? It wasn't like they weren't trying to turn a massive profit on those things. They were using those things to extend the life of the game, and it, you know, being physical, buying it off of the shelf, and it was supplemental for the digital sales on the game, right? So Microsoft tipped their hat back in the Xbox One days. You remember that, when they were like all digital? Xbox One is going to be an all digital console. You're going to have to use the Kinect. It's going to log in on your face. You can't trade games. You can't do any of this stuff. If you don't log in, your family can't come and play your games. All this stuff. And what the heck happened? The industry, not the industry, the consumers just freaked out. And like, I honestly believe that Xbox never fully recovered from that, even though they backtracked, because what they did is they showed their hand, and we don't like that when people start showing this. And I think that's what happened with you, Wolfman. I think that's why you're so upset at PlayStation, because they never did this. Their hand was always taking care of the consumers. That was part of it. And so I think this was the first time that they shocked a lot of you. I won't say, and you called yourself a fanboy. People that love Sony fanboys. This was a major shock to the system because you thought in your brain, like, program, this is not going to happen. Like, all these other people are doing this stuff, but not Sony. Sony is here for us. This is the first time. And I think that they're just catching the brunt of it right now. But that's because they're such a big player in the market. But you remember, too, it's just, when we're just talking physical media right now, it's just Sony physical media that we're talking about. We already knew Xbox and stuff like that. We kind of are expecting Xbox to shift out of that. Like you said, Nintendo is kind of both ways, but I still believe that it's going to shift back. If we really want to keep physical stuff, I think it needs to go off of disc-based. I think it needs to go into cartridge-based again because of the way that flash drives and, you know, all of those kinds of, like, because that's all we're talking about right now. We're talking about just, you know, like micro SDs and stuff like that. That's still physical. Like, you can have that in a car, and it could be, you know, I don't know exactly. You know, Eric, you know more about this, but I'm just thinking through my brain, like, that is the more tangible, cost effective, not have to worry about disk rot, not have to worry about printing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
right?
until the
Until
AI
AI,
boom.
right? But I think that's, so we saw it in the tea leaves, we saw the writing on the walls, and it's just kind of, but it got to this point that a lot of people, and with how big Sony is, didn't think this was going to happen, and now all of a sudden it happened, and it's like massive culture shock. But it's like, we're just talking about Sony again, right? Like, for me, I'm not a huge Sony fanboy, so I'm taking this a little bit differently. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I'm a big physical collector. You guys touched on it. Like, dude, physical games. Like, you guys remember buying these things, right? You open it up. You got freaking multiple discs. Like, even if they want to keep disc based, go multiple discs on Blu-ray, or go to a 4-layer Blu-ray. I don't care. But look, like, books and extra bonus disc and double books that are in it, and it's like, you don't. And the smell. Like, they're talking about taking that opportunity away from people, right? And, like, the opening up the Christmas gifts and stuff, and it's a gift card. Like, that's nice, but I want to open up a gift and it be like my kids opening up, like, their Game Boy, their DSs and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know. Go ahead.
I think you guys are kind of missing. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Wimbush.
Oh, yeah, that's what I say. I think everybody's missing the biggest elephant in the room, because right before the physical media news had came out, Sony had just taken 500 movies off everybody's account. So it's like you have the access of Sony being able to take stuff away from your account, and then they're saying we're no longer going to have physical media. Who's to say that they're not going to start doing that with games? Like, people are saying, oh, they would never do that with games, but you know,
Yeah, right.
yeah, they showed you that they could do it, and they will do it. So if they need to, you know, if there's a license thing that's happening, and they're just like, it's easier just to wipe it off your account. I mean, they already showed that they're able to do that, and you know, there's no laws out there stopping them from doing it. If you look at the EULA, it actually says that when you buy a digital game, you don't own it; you're renting the license to be able to have access to it. So that's their way of getting around all this. And I know with the younger generation, like, because I've been online, I've seen what everybody's saying, and they're like, I haven't never bought a physical game. I've always bought digital, this, that, and the third. And it's kind of the type of thing that it doesn't affect you until it affects you. And I think once they start taking games away from you, I think that's when everybody's going to really start getting upset, because then they're going to see the ramifications of, I paid $80 for GTA 6 and there's a music disagreement, so half the game got wiped, or, you know, they manipulated or did something to it, and or just take it away altogether, you know?
Well, I'm mad because if you saw any of the stuff on YouTube, the CEO of Sony PlayStation during the PS4 era, they had a media blitz where they had the CEO and, I don't know, some big wig in Sony say, well, how do you, you know, handle and trade
your games.
Trade your games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was
and they
familiar
literally
with that.
just handed it to each other.
Yeah.
And if that's the message that Sony was giving, we support physical media. We have no problem with you taking your games and trading them, letting your friends borrowing them. That's the whole thing. And now to hear what Winbush and Larson and everybody is saying, the message has drastically changed. Now, I agree with Dantron that unless you know, live under a mushroom, in some magical forest, you could see over the last 10 to 15 years what's been happening with discs. Okay. The discs that you got, well, slowly but surely, it wasn't really the full game on there. Okay. It was bits and pieces, or you had part of the game. Then you had to download the other part of the game. And then you had all these patches and everything else. So the last 10 or 15 years, you already started to see it swinging in that direction. But to me, the message drastically changed from the PS4 era to this new gen. And that's why I'm pissed.
Yeah, it's weird when you put in a disc now for the first time and you're downloading the game, and it immediately gives you a cutoff spot. It's like you can play the game once it loads it to this point, and then after that it will keep loading the rest.
Yeah.
So like you said, that shows you that the whole game is not on there. It's just up to a point and whatever. But you still will need the disc to run the game, obviously, which I'm fine with. But I guess for me, and this kind of just hit me honestly, because I was getting a stack of games. Because I'm like you, Wolfman. I've been Sony through and through from PS1, and I collect tons of games and everything. And I was getting just stuff out and just looking at it, and it just, I mean, I'm mad as all hell. My soul is enraged, but I'm really just sad right now. I guess it's that level of grief and stuff. But I mean, you're telling me that these are now going to be done in 2 years. This is every NHL game from PlayStation 3, 4, and 5 that are out now, because I have a physical copy of every single NHL game across every system.
The only one in the world that has that. But go ahead.
No, there's a few psychos that do that.
And see, the beauty thing is, some of these are still wrapped, because I mean, I'm not going to play. I'm not buying these on day one. Like this one, 25, I got for $14. This one I got for $12 still wrapped. Because it's the same crappy game every year. They just update rosters and stuff. I think the last one I bought on launch day actually was NHL 14, just because that was the 20th anniversary, 94. Anyway, the point is, if they're doing this in January 1, 28, that means I only have 2 more NHL games I'm going to physically be able to own. And I thought I was going to be able to collect until I got tired of it. And my kids know I'm handing everything down to them, and they love that. They love going in and putting in NHL 10, whatever they're playing in my PlayStation 3 that I still have here, or when we play PlayStation 5 together. But there's not going to be another disc if they go through with this. And that also means there's not going to be a cover athlete anymore. And so for someone like me that loves hockey or even Madden or anything like that, you're hoping that your favorite team has a cover athlete. Like, it's just something to be cool to say, oh yeah, that was the year they did a great, it was after the MVP year or whatever and stuff. You're only going to have 2 more years and 2 more chances of cover athletes across the board.
So do you think they'll give you, like, I know they said they're not going to do physical disc, but do you still think they'll do the case? Like how Grand Theft Auto, you buy the case, but on the inside, it's just
the disc.
I mean, if they, the serial number.
That's right. The code.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And see, the weird thing is, and Larson, you said this way back when Xbox was doing this, it was actually cheaper to get it digitally. It was. Nowadays, you flipped it. It was $80 to get the physical Grand Theft Auto 6, but if you wanted the deluxe for $100, that was digital only. So now you were justifying saying, well, the physical is going to be a little bit more than digital, because digital, you can download it, you can own it right now. Physical, you have to get it. We have to make the disc and everything. Now they flipped it. Now digital is more expensive than the standard. And if you want to have the stuff that's on the deluxe issue or whatever and stuff, you have to pay the upgrade for, which I have no problem doing, but I still would rather have the standard disc and have it be, that price. But I don't understand why a digital is now more expensive when you don't get anything in your hands for it. Well, they do the same thing with like the wrestling games. This last year's wrestling game, I was really interested in the Attitude Era, which was like the middle grade one, which was $100, but that was digital only. There was no way for you to have that actual disc and everything, or a case, and have the cover art that was associated with that game. You weren't able to have that physically. It was just going to show up on your screen on your TV because it was digital only.
the whole reason they can't do cheaper digital, or the reason they didn't do cheaper digital, was because the retailers threatened to pull the games off the shelf. So this started around like the 360 PS3 era when stuff was starting to go digital. And that was the promise, right? Like, oh, you could download a digital for half price, or you could buy the physical for 50 or $60. And you have your Best Buys, your Targets, your Walmarts. They're like, well, people aren't going to come to the store to buy the physical because they could get the digital for half price. So they threatened to pull the physical, and that's why everything was kind of one-to-one there for a while. And the only place you could really get deep discounts was on Steam. But I think that kind of worked to the big three's advantage, because then they're like, okay, well, we can still make all the profit on digital, and that's our reason that we don't have to sell it cheaper, because we have to abide by these laws that the retailers put upon us. And that kind of puts us where we are right now with, digital versus physical with pricing and everything.
Yeah, I mean, 13
You
years.
ain't gonna own GTA 6.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna own it. You're just renting that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
renting is temporary, physicals forever.
Go ahead, Sean. You were going to say something.
I was going to say 13 years ago when we had that little video, here's how you trade your game. Since then, we've been in that warning track. We knew it was coming. We weren't expecting the hammer to drop so well. I mean, it has been a while, but they've seen through stuff like Steam, Good Old Games, and Epic. They've seen that they can make the money without having to spend all the cost on printing physical. And they're just saying, well, we might as well just join everybody else and do it. Let's face it.
That's a cool thing that you just said, though. But didn't Epic and Fortnite, who was one of the largest games in the world, just raise a lot of their stuff or give you less money for your V-Bucks and stuff? So
yes.
It comes back to like their business practices. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what happened to the days where if you have bad business practices, then you're done. Like, you can't do it. Like, because people just wouldn't buy. Like, they just like, nope, I'm not going to that store then, or I'm not going to do that thing. And that's not the way that it is, because we're such a society of convenience right now. But I don't know. For me, it's one of those things. Like, I think that they're skewing also. You know how everybody says that they're selling way more digital media than I believe it. They're selling way more digital media now than they used to. But I don't think the discrepancy is as big as they make it out to be. Personally, I really don't, because yes, there's probably a lot of sales per like digital to physical, but I still think they sell a lot of physical copies of games. And when Sony came out and was like, nah, we don't, we sell just this. I want to look at, because I don't have these stats, but I want to look at like their legit stats, like their actual digital sales for a game that actually was available digital versus physical and all that kind of stuff. Because I still believe there's a market out there, and I personally think that they're skewing the numbers slightly to make it seem like, oh, that's a good business decision, just because it is a good business decision, because they can save a ton of money not printing the discs, not having to worry about shipping the discs and all of that kind of stuff. But like Sony, they had just a crap storm of stuff that happened immediately. Grand Theft Auto 6, super anticipated game. By the way, only digital. Take away 500 movies from people's we're deleting them right out of your library. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, then stack on top of that. Oh, by the way, we're now going to be all digital starting 2028. We're no more physical. Like, that was too much for us as collectors and as a gaming industry, I think, to absorb. And so
today's news too.
Yeah, today's news about don't log in.
Yeah. But also
you gotta call home.
Yeah, but we also had all that information about the Switch 2 a year ago. A little over a year ago, I should say. I mean, it's going to be connected. We're going to be able to brick you with, even if you say shit about us. The game key codes, not even having the physical game on the media. So,
or if you mod your Switch in any way and it calls home and stuff, they can send that nuke code, and there you go.
That's the problem. We've become complacent and willing to take whatever we can. Like, I'm not going to sit here and smoke up anybody's name, but I mean, if someone hands me a Switch 2 for free, I'll play it. Yeah, exactly.
Exhibit 8.
I'm not going to go and spend $500 or $600 or $700 for a console that none of it is mine after all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't own it. They don't want you to own it. There's no money in ownership. There's only money in leasing.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like Nintendo, as I'm looking at this, and when Sony goes, oh my gosh. So I think Nintendo, if Sony stays the way it is, I'll get into this in a second. But if Sony stays the way that they're going, the freaking savior for physical media is probably going to be Nintendo. Like, they're starting to make bigger key cards. If they play their cards right, then Nintendo could win back a lot of the fan base if they're like, nope, we're going to start putting out all the games on all of the stuff. Because they backtracked on some of their stuff, like it constantly needing to call home and stuff. They did that with updates so that Switch 2 doesn't call home as often as it did before, like first time you put in a game and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just shocks me. It shocks me that we're to this point when just like a year and a half ago we were all like, Nintendo is dead. We're not, and now they're like, are they going to be our savior? I don't know. Gosh, I don't want Nintendo to be our savior.
Flash Media needs to get cheaper.
Yep.
Otherwise, Nintendo's going to be releasing. They may be the savior, but they're like, this physical copy costs $120.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to bring this up. These games are going to be a decade next year, and they still want $60, $65 for these games.
Yeah,
like
that's
full price, 10 years old next year.
Are
Like,
they? Do you know?
really?
Are they still making those? Like, are they still producing those?
Yeah.
Switch games?
Yeah.
No, those
Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8. Yes.
So
Yeah.
they
Yes, they are.
make new ones of those.
Yes.
Correct.
And
Yes.
they're still charging.
So that
they're
price,
still,
that's expensive. That's all
for 10
Flash-
years old. Yes.
Flash Media has gotten more expensive.
Yeah.
So those games are not cheaper to make. They're more expensive to make now.
What, like N64? Remember, like Cruisin' USA? I've said this story before. Cruisin' USA on N64. I remember buying it for $89.99. It was like $94 or something like that. Like that's an N64 game, right? So I mean, even, and that was cartridge based back then. That the technology was just more expensive. It just was. I don't know. It's
Well, it used to be
Yeah.
technology would come out at a certain price. Consoles on release were always sold at a loss. It was always this right now. We're selling at a loss, but it doesn't matter. Once we get it in the hands of people, we'll make the money on the accessories, we'll make the money on the games, and all that stuff. And then the technology will get cheaper, and we'll make a little bit of profit on the console. But we're in this weird part now where the technology is not cheaper; it's more expensive. So those games, honestly, like Nintendo is probably losing money on those. I don't know how physically large those games are, but I'm guessing that they at least have to have like a 256 flash chip in there. And if they have that, all of that is more expensive now. So the fact, I'm surprised Nintendo has even kept it at the price that it's at, because all of that is more expensive now to produce than it was on release. On release, they were making a profit on those games. Now, if they are making a profit, it's very, very slim. If they're still making new ones, that's why I was asking. Are they just going through old stock, or are they actually producing?
I would assume it's new ones because, I mean, again, it's going to be. I don't know if they would have. I mean, I guess they can let some sit on the shelf if they haven't sold through their stock of, say, 5 years ago, and it's sat there because, I mean, everyone has it that's wanted it. You would think in that time thing. So I would assume they're making more, but I mean,
but all of this thing comes back to how much flash storage costs now. We want Nintendo to be the savior, but I don't think they're going to look at that and they're be like, well, flash is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So, we're going to make a physical copy of this game and then charge people, an arm and a leg.
$80.
Right.
Right? They already did that, but that was all digital at that point. But
I mean, the alternative is to do what they're doing, where they're like, oh, we'll sell you a card. It's got 112K of storage on it, but it's really just a key for you to download this other stuff because that makes it cheaper. But, we need flash storage to come down.
You know who's not making more stuff? Sony. Well, they're big warehouse or place in Austria that prints their discs, their first party discs and stuff, they're closing down right now.
Yeah, they're repurposing
Now,
it.
you said January 1st, 2028, they're going to stop physical media. They're already firing people, and Sony's so full of crap. They're saying, well, don't worry. Well, we might have you like do other things for us. Like instead of pressing discs for us, because we're not going to do physical media anymore, maybe you'll make widgets that go in our controllers. So maybe we'll keep the factories open.
That's
I know.
Right? Yeah.
Crazy.
PS6 now with fidget spinners.
I didn't even ever say your PS6 is a crock.
Yeah.
So here's the. Yeah, go ahead, Winbush. You were gonna say something.
No, I was just laughing.
So
I mean,
yeah,
even
it's a joke. It's a bad joke.
even the next Xbox has already come out. There's papers that have come out showing we're not putting a disc drive in the next one.
oh yeah,
There's
no,
gonna be an next
yeah.
Xbox, bro.
yeah, there. If
It's all bullshit.
yeah, if the next Xbox, and that's what I've been saying to people, like the way that I'm seeing stuff, and Eric has, anyways, but I look at it and I go, with what they're trying to do with streaming services and stuff like that and Game Pass, it's probably going to be like an Apple TV that you're going to hook up, and it's going to be just for streaming.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Summer's Game Fest, what was that, last month? They never made a public announcement, but I know people that went to the Xbox Mixer and they were giving out swag that said Xbox Movie Studios, I think, on there. So they, that big debacle they did back with the Xbox One where they're trying to get into TV and movies and they're like, we're running multimedia. I guess they didn't learn from their mistakes because they're trying that again, I guess. So they haven't made their announcement yet, but yeah, a couple of people showed me some of their swag and they're like, yeah, they're going to try to get back in because they saw what Sony did with like The Last of Us and Twisted Metal. And then I guess they have Fallout TV series. And yeah, so it's like they want to give it another shot. They feel like they could bring their big tempos into like TV and movies and stuff like that with Gears and Halo and stuff. But yeah, I see them going further away from games and more into maybe just trying to milk their IP as much as they can in other medias.
I mean, it's probably, if Helix comes out at all, which I'm doubtful, but it'll be a streaming box, and that's all it'll really be. You'll stream games, you'll play cloud games, you'll stream movies or whatever else they want to stream on there.
But that doesn't work around the world because not everybody has good infrastructure for internet. So, like, what does that do for people in other countries where they can't really stream?
They don't give a shit.
They don't care. It's
Yeah,
first world problems.
They don't care. Like I mean, I've been a part of game releases. We always soft release in like a third world country or something like that first, and it's because they don't give a shit. They care about China and the US and Europe in that order. And because that's where they make money. So if they can satisfy China and then the US second and then Europe, they're okay with that. And in most European countries, infrastructure.
I mean, I would even say domestically though, like especially out in the rural areas, like everybody's internet in America isn't set up for high speed internet and everything. So even if
I agree, it's a dick move, but they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
My internet sucks. Bauer laughed in my face. He was trying to help me with the pinball stuff. He said, Wolf, what do you got, dial-up? I mean, I'm serious. My internet stinks, and it takes forever to download some of these PS5 games. And, I mean, I'm not poor, but I'm certainly not rich. So I understand what Winbush is saying out in, like, West Virginia, like, outskirts of, like, South Carolina. I mean, what is their internet like in Arkansas and Mississippi? I mean, you're not going to be able to download. It's going to take you 2 months to download Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, and a lot of these places, their internet's capped too, so you might not even be able to download whatever GTA 6 is going to be, like 100 gigs. Like, their internet might crap out before they can even fully install it. So, yeah, I don't really see like a whole digital future at least in this economy and where everything is at, I don't really see it working out.
I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, I think we're at a point though where people are like they're checking the boundary, right? They're like, how far can we push this? Really?
Right.
Like
Exactly.
What can we do, and at what point is it enough? And then when we find that boundary, we'll backtrack a little bit.
Like
And
with Game Pass.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
gonna toe the line as much as they can.
right, and it's gonna continue to happen until people that are not so money hungry are actually in charge of things. But
That's what gets me too. Like if we were talking about Xbox, I know we're just kind of all over the board, but that's cool because I love this. If we're talking about Xbox, like are we that dumb? Did we just we forget like what 4 or 5 months ago that they brought in somebody that had no idea about gaming and she was big into AI, and you didn't think she was going to be brought in to kind of quietly sunset the Xbox brand? Like, we didn't think that was going to happen. Like, I thought about it way back then. Then all of a sudden, she's asking all these questions and she's doing all this restructuring. And I think that it's going to be, look, she might be a great person. I don't know her personally or anything like that. I'm just reading the tea leaves. I'm like, you don't bring in a non-gamer to try and run a gaming division that's going into the frickin' toilet. And then all of a sudden expect that all of a sudden she's going to be able to make these cuts and bring it back. What world does that make sense? Winbush, am I off base here?
No, even though I don't really give too much relevance about the gaming part because Phil Spencer was supposed to be the all-encompassing gamer, and we kind of saw what he did with Xbox. I mean, he took it. I didn't think it would be you could get any worse than Don Matrick, and I feel like Phil really put Xbox in the cracker. I'm not, I don't know him personally, and I don't know anything about him, but just on the outside looking in, it just seems like he made every bad decision that you could, and that kind of put Xbox where they're at right now. And yeah, it's just like I've heard rumors about them trying to spin off, possibly just be ran independently. I know Sony did that a couple years ago, and it seemed to work out for them. So maybe that's something that they could do. But yeah, I don't know. All signs kind of lead to Xbox being a sunset, especially with the Helix and being all digital and what Eric's saying, everything streaming. Like I feel like that's a death note. Like I don't think anybody wants that, and not everybody's going to be able to even utilize that. So
yeah, you can't sell that in a lot of places. But I mean,
Shadow had to get something.
Go ahead.
yeah, good.
Honestly, I don't even think that Phil Spencer even had control of Xbox. He was given it, but I think the overlords kind of forced him into certain positions.
Yeah.
But now on the opposite side
of the dude, like he was the guy.
Oh no! I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm just saying that he might have gotten a lot of limitation by the heads of Microsoft saying, "Listen, we really give two about Xbox. So as long as you don't do anything that stands out, you're good to go." You know what I mean?
Turn a profit and let it go. If you don't turn a profit, there's a problem.
But on the opposite side of the spectrum, gaming, current gen gaming has gone the way it's gone. But look what's come out of it on the retro aspect. We've got the AES Plus, the Neo Geo AES Plus. Yep. We've got the guy who actually went ahead and got capital to buy the 3DO brand and is trying to bring that back. He's got the software side. He's working on trying to get the hardware side of it back. I know, not saying much, but
it's great. I can play 4 3DO games. Freaking fantastic.
It's something good that it's something better than nothing right now. Well, no, he's actually going around saying that the software level, he's going to bring back old games, but he's going to continue on bringing new FMV stuff that we had from the 3DO. Yeah.
New games for old systems. That was one thing I was hoping somebody was going to bring up.
So something. Go ahead. You say your piece. Go ahead.
No, so this there's something to be said about them being able to use older technology to bring out newer software. Like I like it. It's I think indie developers are starting to get into that. It's a lot easier to deal with. You got newer pieces of hardware that are being released that are freaking awesome, like this Chromatic. But you can, like, even that Traumatarium game. I can take this out. I can take this game, and there's something. Hang on, I might have to do some ASMR stuff here for you. But I can take like my regular Nintendo, and I can put these new games into my Game Boy, and I can, let's see if it'll load up. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Like that is freaking awesome, dude. Like, so if there's one light at the end of this tunnel, as long as we have people willing to innovate, willing to keep retro alive, willing to use older technology, willing to make new software on older technology, as long as we still have that, we have something.
Yeah, but you have to keep it affordable.
That's true.
That's true. Otherwise, people won't be able to access it. And like right now, we're at a spot where they can barely, with things like Kickstarters and stuff like that. They can sometimes they can even get like a disc printer to actually make a disc of a new game on old technology, and I'm all for it. I freaking love it. I want that stuff to continue to happen, and I want that to be the savior. But I'm gonna go back to it, and I'm always gonna go back to it because this is a problem that people don't understand. Is Flash ain't getting cheaper. Storage is not getting cheaper. It's getting more expensive, and we're not even at the worst of it. People haven't seen the full repercussions of this, and it's materializing in things now where it's like, oh, this thing just increased their price. Oh, well, they're for doing this, but they didn't want to do that. I mean, in some of the cases, they didn't want to do that. I think Sony wanted to do this. I think Microsoft wanted to do this, but I think other companies they did not want to do that. We have evidence that shows that Valve didn't want to sell the Steam machine at the price that it's at now.
Yeah, it's $750.
Right, and it released at that price because storage is so freaking expensive.
And that was with them hodgepodging it, because it's not all the same. Like there's different versions of it, because they tried everything they freaking could using random parts to try and get it to work within their specs. But yeah, continue, Eric. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, so it works for now. We have that now, and we should enjoy that now. How long does that go on for? I don't know. Shit's got to come down, though.
So did you see about the warehouses that they're building in China? Because China's starting to get into the RAM game over there, and they said that they could come out with cheaper.
They own the RAM game.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be more cost-effective RAM that are coming out of different sectors over there. At least from
you know what that is. You know what that is? That's used stuff.
That's refurbished. Yeah,
That's
all refurbished. Yeah. So no.
It's all used. It's all refurbished stuff. So and they market it as cheaper because it may die like immediately. But yeah, they own the RAM game. They produce all of it.
Well, I just looked on eBay just because I was curious while you guys were talking, and I saw that Sony PS5s, the disc versions, the slim and the normal, $800, $850, $900. So now you're seeing these scalpers are going, ooh, okay, so Sony's going to stop, producing discs. Let's get our on this hardware as quick as possible. And I feel so bad because it's like, man, and I know we live in the United States and it's like capitalism at its finest, but these scalpers get a hold of something and now it's going to be harder to get the hardware to still play the discs, and just it's
going to be
amazing.
expensive to even get the game. Yeah, because all of us here are game stuff, and I picked them up and stuff. I mean, this game alone right here, I bought it a little over a year ago because I was a little late to the party on some of these games. PS3 is kind of where I tapered off gaming, and I didn't come back until PS5 and stuff. But I got this game for $80 right now. It's going for 105. And I mean, some of these other games like Uncharted 3 and stuff is going for, there's a lot of them, but I mean, I got it for $5 it's now 15. And I mean, this is PS3. If we want to go back even PS2, PS1s, Sega, Super Nintendo's, like those games are going to be just absolutely insane. I mean, Super Metroid right now is $85 just for the game.
It sucks,
$85.
man.
It sucks for people that are going to be trying to get, like you said, Wolfman. I mean, not just get the hardware to do it, but even the actual physical media themselves. It's going to skyrocket, and it sucks. It just kills me.
It's been skyrocketing, dude. You know what makes me really sad though? Like, again, so I don't have a PS5, so, and I've been on the fence of like wanting to buy it at one point and then not. I'm really like not most likely going to pick one up.
And I wouldn't blame you.
That's just me. But what makes me really sad is I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. You guys know that. I have lots of physical Resident Evil games. So I want to tell you, Resident Evil Requiem, I really freaking liked a ton. I bought it on PC. Of course, there's nothing physical that comes out on PC anymore. That's just the way that is. We already understand that. But so I bought it on PC. I played through it. I freaking love that game. It's great. But I was like, I got to have a physical copy. But guess what? I don't have a PS5. I got a Switch too, but it's only it's game key card. So guess what? I have one physical case, but it's like basically just an empty case with a card in it for the for Switch 2. That's it. But you know what makes me really sad is I like that game enough, just like I liked Resident Evil 2, where I won't be able to go and buy every physical freaking copy of Requiem that came out, like I did with Resident Evil 2. I can't go back through and go, I want to collect all of these physical discs for this game. I can't, even going into the remake, like these physical copies of things. Like for me, that's what makes me really sad is every once in a while, if we have like a great game that comes out, if it's digital only, it's like as soon as they take it away, you guys already talked about it. They give it and they can take it away. So as soon as they decide, oh, yep, like Winbush said, with the music, or there was a falling out between some weird publisher, or they have one piece of technology that they use in it, RE engine, a function of it was, something weird, then they just take the game back and they might release it like Wales talked about with their with Twisted Metal, where they re-released it and they had changed stuff where it's not the same game. They do that stuff with digital things. Physical, there you get this is what it is. Like there's no updates to this,
imperfections and all.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm cool with that. I mean, that's just the way that but that's what makes me the most sad about the way the shift is going to no physical media is like for me that is going to be fine because I got all my retro stuff and I love my retro stuff. But like my kids, like any of the new games that are coming out, like that they really like, it's just not they're not going to have this. Like they could just put it in 10 years, 15 years, play it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just
they took away a feeling, man. They took away the ability to freaking like what you mentioned. I mean, the way people love Halloween, that's how I love Christmas. Mm-hmm. Christmas is like my freaking season. Like if I could have Christmas all 12 months, I would. But that's like me. And that was because my parents made it that way for me. And then I try to do that for my kids and stuff like that. But part of that was physical media. Part of that was opening. I remember someone gifted me the box set of VHS Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And I was like, I can watch Star Wars whenever I want. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. And, they took away that feeling. But to give you like a more modern example, I discussed with somebody that's in the industry. I discussed this with them when the new Doom game came out, the Dark Ages one or whatever, right? They were selling a physical collector's edition, and it was like $260 or something like that, and which is obscene, but it came with like a lot of stuff, and I was like, I will pay that. Yeah, I will pay it. I love Doom enough. Mm-hmm. I will pay that to get that. And they were like, "Oh no, we're not making them anymore." And I'm like, "Do you just like not like money? Like what people want to buy this? Like I'm getting pinged every day from people asking me, "Do you have more of these available?" And they're like, "Oh no, we're not doing that. You can get the digital one." I'm like, "They don't want. What are you going to do with the digital statue? They want all the shit that comes with it. Yeah. They want the disc that comes with it. They want all that stuff. and they're willing to pay nearly $300 for it. Like, that's obscene for a game. But these people want it, like some people might look at what you did with Resident Evil 2 and be like, that's obscene. Why are you collecting all of it? It's all the same game. Like, why are you collecting that, all this stuff? But it doesn't matter. You're passionate about it. It's something you love. You want to collect all of them. I love Parodius. I have a personal quest where I'm trying to get every single Parodius game that was ever released. But you can't do that. There's no current game now where you're going to be able to, like, well, I want all of the versions. Like, remember when... I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
No, keep going.
It's okay, go.
No, roll, my friend.
Remember when they did Soul Calibur, and each system had its own character?
Yeah, that was
awesome.
I never wanted all three systems more than when that happened, and it was just because I wanted all three of those games. And I wanted Link, and then I wanted the Heihachi or whatever.
Spawn.
And then Spawn or whatever.
Spawn? Wasn't there
Yeah.
one that had the Star Wars characters? Like one had Yoda, one had Vader, another
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like that,
like,
yeah.
you know, and these are things that, like, you know, now that I have, you know, a job and stuff like that, back then I didn't, so I couldn't afford those things. But now that I can, I'm like, oh shit, I want all of those things. Like, I can collect those things, and I can say, hey, look, here's my collection of this stuff. And I can show that off, and friends can enjoy it. But we're gonna get to a point where people are gonna be, when people argue in present, it bothers me, because you can't see what you're gonna love later.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like my son's 17 now. He, when he was a kid, was really into Skylanders. That was like his thing. He loved Skylanders. He doesn't have any of them anymore, but now he's trying to get them back. And he's like, oh, I want to play Skylanders. Does Beardbox have Skylanders? And I'm like, yeah, it does. You can kind of like jankify it and do these things. And he's like, I want my physical Skylanders back. So he's trying to collect those and he's trying to get those. But he didn't realize that he was going to love that later and want those things back. He just got rid of them because he's like, oh, I outgrew this. But you don't know what you're going to love later. So these people, they might be, these people that are like, well, it doesn't matter. I never bought a physical game. Yeah, but you might care later when you can't play it anymore.
When you can't, exactly.
Or just because you didn't like it and you don't see the point of it doesn't mean someone else sees the point a different way.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about collector's edition. Sorry, real quick rant. Damn it, at games, I want my Goro controller. Give me my damn collector's edition and stuff. I bought it on Steam to play on my arcade. This is a new sealed PS5 copy. Give me my damn collector's edition now. Sorry.
That's limited run, right?
Yeah.
That was limited run. Yes, same one that did the Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collect.
Yeah.
Runs.
Go ahead, Wolfman. I see the wheels turning.
Uh-oh.
Nope. He's like, I'm out of here. I can't handle this anymore. He just took off.
See, that's like I said, that's how I feel with the whole NHL series. I have every physical game from 1991 until, now. And yeah, they're still going to make digital versions, I guess, of the game, and they'll still have a cover athlete, but I mean, it's just going to be on the screen. It's not going to be something you can hold. And my kids love playing these older games because, like my son, he's like me. I'm a Stars fan. Mike Madonna was my favorite player. He will only play the NHL games that have Mike Madonna on the team. The newer games aren't going to have that. You're not going to be able to play with him on the team, but he'll go in and he'll pop in NHL 10. That's his favorite because that was his last year. And he's going through his season right now as a 13-year-old trying to win the cup in Madonna's last year. Like that's like his thing to do. You're not going to be able to do that digitally. You can't do that, because
they
you're
do
going to
weird things like what they did with 2K26,
where they have the all-star team,
the legacy mode, where they're like, oh, you can play with all of your favorites.
Yeah.
Not the same. Not with like the rest of the team. Like I said, because you're using that team, that roster from that year and stuff. So if you have certain favorite players and stuff, you only have certain games that you can play with them in and stuff. But I mean, it's
I get it. It's not the same thing, but they act like it's one for one. I'm like, well, you can use what's that guy? What's his name? The super short basketball player. The guy was my height.
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues.
Oh,
There's like in 2K26, I was like, use Muggsy Bogues, and he's in there, and I'm like, but it's not the same,
Yeah. All right. So yeah, with the way the digital landscape is going. So, where do we go from here? Like, what's down the road? What do we have to look forward to? Winbush, you got any ideas? Like, what's next for us that do like physical media?
Yeah, I mean, this sucks because I hate to get like politicians and lawmakers in there, but I do think there needs to be a law with digital because I've gone with digital media, especially this generation. I bought a lot of games on Steam, GOG, Epic Games, and because you can buy games for cheap, right? Like Sonic Mania right now is $2. Like you can't get it for $2 anywhere else. So it's like I pick stuff up like that.
Yep.
But it's just this past week, it just made me realize that I have this massive Steam library, and who's to say that Steam doesn't close up shop tomorrow? Or, anything can happen at any given time, and I might lose access to everything that I bought on there. So there needs to be some type of law saying, like, when you buy something, you can physically download it, and then you can back it up yourself. So that's what I was saying before. Like, even if you bought, like, just external hard drives, you'd be able to download your games to external hard drive, like you can do with Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk is DRM free, so if you wanted to download your copy of Cyberpunk from GOG, you have access to do that. But the developer is the one that had to come out and say, like, we'll let you own your game. But most of these developers aren't doing it. Like, I don't own any of my Square Enix games. Like, I was going back, rebuying a lot of the HD remake stuff. I like them, but it's like I don't own them. So if something happens, then it's like I'm out of luck. I can't play it 20 years down the line or whatever if Steam happens to just close up shop. But yeah, I mean, I think what gets everybody upset is just you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Because like I said, with my Oculus, I have a separate account for Oculus. So I wasn't always checking my email that I had for VR. And I went to go play it one day, and my account was wiped out. I couldn't get access to any of the digital games I bought in VR. And when I contacted Facebook about it, they're pretty much just like, "Oh, just make a new account." I'm like, "Well, what about the 10 VR games that I bought?" And they're just like, "Sorry, you should check in your email whenever we told you that you had to convert over." And the same thing happened with me with Nintendo, with the Wii and Wii U. I don't have access to that anymore. Even Ubisoft had screwed me over because I had lost access to my email that I had on that account. I had a bunch of games on Ubisoft online, and they're just like, "Yeah, sorry." So yeah, the whole thing is not trying to be depressing, but it just sucks that they kind of have you at the balls at this point. So I would just I like digital. I would just like to have a little bit more ownership over how I can handle my digital media.
Can I say something? Because you just said something that's super interesting to me. Like, what if they did go the cyberpunk route and stuff like that, and allowed you full ownership to be able to back up the games and stuff like that? That opens up an entire new realm of stuff where you could be like, hey, I know this eBay seller that will make you a physical copy of this game with a case and a manual and cover art and stuff like that, and it would give you something to collect. That seems creative. That seems like a cool way to go. No studio is going to allow it to happen, but it would be
because they don't get their cut.
Right, exactly.
100%. But the studios could sell you hard drives with Cyberpunk on it. Like, imagine if you got like this big brick of a hard drive that you could just plug in USB and it had the full copy of the game on there. I mean, they could charge like $300 and people would happily. Like, if GTA 6 came on a physical hard drive for the PC version, and they're like $300 for this physical edition, cover all the artwork, I bet you it would sell out in a heartbeat.
SSD, and it would be insanely expensive.
Yeah, it'd be because they're talking like it's going to be like what did they say, like 300 gigs or something like that?
Rumor, yeah, like 310 gigs.
There's some rumors like that, and there's some rumors that say it's like 600.
So
since no one's
it'd have to come out on a terabyte, so they would have to release it on a terabyte, or it'd have to be a 2 terabyte, and then so it'd be stupid expensive because they want to leave extra space for you to download the digital or the DLC
updates and all the DLC.
So this too, like, what happens to the people that have this Series S that was like 512 megabytes?
Yeah,
like they can't even get the game, even digitally. They can't download it. So yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they can't.
That's true.
Yeah, they can't.
Oh well.
And so,
yeah.
But like,
you just gotta buy a new console.
But when we're talking like physical games, right? We're talking physical games. Like, they are not taking this away from me. Like, it hasn't been released. Like, I'm pretty sure it hasn't been released digitally, but I can take this out and throw it in my Genesis right now. Like, play it with my kids, whatever. The only way this is leaving me is if it gets freaking burned up in the house fire or something, or someone steals it. That's it. Like, this is mine. I purchased this. Like, they can't take this away. Whereas, like, I understand when I'm purchasing digital, like you said, with Steam could go under. Like, they could have some weird lawsuit or something and just boom. Are they going to be held up? Like, because, like they're too big to fail? Is the government going to jump in at that point? I don't know. Like, but that's, but then you lose like half the catalog of games that you downloaded or something, right? Any of that stuff is possible. And I'm not trying to be a doom and gloomer. I'm just saying, like, that's the biggest, it's options that are being removed. With Sony, I'm going back to Sony. It's options being removed. What keeps them honest on their digital libraries and digital sales is the fact that there are physical digital sales, is that they have their physical media out in the market. So if the physical media goes on sale, and it's like, you got an opportunity to get it for, rather than $60, it might be $40 or $30. They're gonna have to adjust what they sell it for digitally. If they don't have that kind of offset and balance there, who's to say that they're going to be like Nintendo and never lower the prices of any of their stuff? Like, because they don't have to, right? And there's no other option for us as purchasers to get that game, because there is no retailer that's selling a used copy for less. Like, I just want the game. I want it physical. Oh wait, you don't have that anymore. There's no such thing as physical GTA 6. No such thing as, well, even Resident Evil Requiem. Like, the cool part is, like, on PS5, the majority of that game is on there. Like, you can get it unpatched and you can have it offline. You can put it in. You can play that one.
Yeah.
That one specifically you can do. You can't on the other stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure the Xbox one you can't. The PS5 one you can. But you're not getting any of the other stuff. Like, and I don't know. For me, it's just a sad situation that we all knew what was coming, and it's here now, and we just have to accept it. Kind of like, I love my daughter and she's getting ready to move out. It's like a sad situation. I saw it coming. But then now, again, where do we go from here? Like, what is there to look forward to? Like, what can we do for this? What can the people that are watching this, what's something that they could do that they could hold on to as far as, like, hopeful about, like, the gaming industry? What do you got?
I mean, hopefully there's a fallout, especially from the retailers. Because if the retailers see that they can't carry PS6 games, they're probably not going to be carrying PS6s, right? Because it's like, if I'm Target, I'm like, I can't make any type of money on the back end on physical accessories. I can't make it on the media. Like, I'm not going to carry your product if I can't make more money off the product, except for that essential box. I think they're going to have a bigger ramification than they think. Like, they're not Steam. Like, you can only get the Steam box through Steam, but they sell limited quantities. They're not looking to sell millions. They're just looking to sell to a niche market. PlayStation, they want to sell 100 million units, and they probably can't do that strictly online. So I think they're going to be, pushing themselves pretty hard. And I think not only from the public, I think there's going to be like a retailer pushback as well. And we might see some of these options get flipped.
The only thing that I could see is a pushback on that one, Bush, is, and me being in the retail business for about 8 years and stuff, it's what you're talking about is something called add-on sales. So, I mean, like, if you wanted to sell a grill and stuff, I also had to be able to have accessories, charcoal. I had to be able to have, like, the spatulas. I had to be able to have the sauces. I had to be able to add stuff that we would try and pile on as a end-all be-all sale. So you get this plus everything else you might need. So if they sell a console that's not even going to have a disc drive, as they're saying, what I've been seeing in other stores and stuff is that they have the games on the card. Like, you get the Mario Kart 2 game or whatever on Switch 2. It's on a card and it has the code on that card. It's not activated until it's scanned at the register or whatever and stuff. But I mean, that would be your new games or physical games. It would just be
gift cards
kind of things with a code on it. And that would be how they can sell the games, even though it's not physically there. But that's what they might push back and say, well, yeah, that's what you're going to see. Because they go to Walmart right now or Target and then go look at the Switch aisle, the Xbox aisle, or even if it's an aisle, it's probably like half an aisle now, because you've got 30 something games all in a one section with pegs, and it's the games. Like, it's got the gift card with the game art and stuff and everything, but you buy that and it's $60 and you just go and you pay it, and that's your game because it's different.
That's how you're gonna have to display from now on. It's gonna be the
gift
card.
That's gonna be gift card.
Display them all up on the wall.
Dumb and stupid as hell as it is.
Doesn't hit the same. Like, just
It doesn't. I
tangible,
think
just if you're looking at it,
Well, for
it doesn't,
Pete's
it's not
sake,
going to be the same as seeing like a row of carts, especially because they take up more space. If you look at the racks now, they just have the gift cards for like, Outback Steakhouse and Roblox and all this other
yeah.
stuff. It all kind of just blends together. So it's like you can't really have your game stand out because, of course, it's on a small key card. And then it's going to be with 20, 30 other games on there. Like people aren't going to, especially like grandparents, right? If they want to buy a game for their grandchild or parents or whatever, they're going to go and they're going to see like all these games and they all look the same. And they're like, we don't know what the heck we're looking for. And
Yeah.
they might
Unless they're specifically told. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
You gotta
best
lower that
case
barrier to entry.
best case scenario, these companies realize with all the flack they're getting, they're going to roll back their thing, but I highly doubt that's going to even happen.
No,
You saw
even if they
that,
roll it back, it's still they'll still be like, okay, wait for all the moaning to cool off, and then like 2 more
And then
years
we'll do it
after,
again,
then
yeah.
we'll push it again. And
They tipped their hand. They
Yeah.
tipped their hand. They showed what's up now, and that's the shocking part is Sony had never done that before, and this was the
Yeah.
first time. So even if they backtrack, they've lost some faith from the buying public. They just have.
Yep.
So
do you feel like there's a way for them to put it in a third party hand? So it's like, okay, your PlayStation 6 and your Helix are going to have USB drives on them, right? So could a third party developer like Hyperkin or something come out with a disk drive, and then you'll have your third party publishers that want to come out with special edition disc. So it's like you have your IM 8-bit or whoever else makes like these, limited run collector editions. Could they go that route maybe and just kind of put it in the third party's hands?
they would have to give a lot of, Eric would know more about this, but they would have to give a lot of the understanding how the system works, and are they willing to do that with how emulation happens? That's the only question that I would have. What's up, Eric?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I don't think they're kind enough to consumers to even have that as an option. And I think we can look at, as examples, we can look at like all of the stuff that Windows 11 is locked up as far as like being able to adjust things with it and stuff like that. Like they're just basically like, oh, you subscribe to an OS and we've cut out, everything that you can personalize with it. I don't think it would happen. I think they were what Dan said is true. They're afraid of like emulation and being able to do that stuff. It would be cool if it happened, and if it did happen and it took off, and I think they would reverse course on this. But honestly, I'm gonna say right now that everyone should do their part. What we're doing, showing off our collection, showing why physical media is important, why it matters, that makes a difference for people. And if it doesn't make a difference at these big companies, at least it makes a difference for these indie developers that are making these good games that are like, oh, we're going to sell this game on a physical copy or whatever that you can buy, and at least prop those studios up, show these big game developers that not every game has to be GTA 6. Like it can be the game that's playing in Windbush's background right now. It can be I mean, all games have just left my brain at this point, but I think there's a bunch of different indie developers that have created a Silk Song. That's these indie games that are absolutely amazing, that are made. Vampire Survivors, that's one that I really like. If they had a physical version of that game, I would buy it.
Right.
In a second, I would buy that game. And I think anyone that has any sort of audience or whatever should show why physical media matters.
I know Shadow had brought up SNK earlier, because Astroburn, but the game my buddy put out, he did a Kickstarter campaign for the physical edition of Astroburn. And so it's my first ever Kickstarter at Vax, and what I was looking on there, I saw that there's a crap ton of indie developers right now making Neo Geo games for the new Neo Geo that's coming out. So
hell yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's kind of where a lot of this stuff goes to as well. And I really hope that SNK is really successful with this new Neo Geo, because then that could be another aspect for people like, okay, we can't release physical on these next gen consoles, but look at this audience over here that have the Neo Geo and the old ones in.
Dude, the AES Plus is going to make Christmas this year freaking unbelievable.
Dude, and they're going to do it the right way, because it's going to be like the old school. It's going to be the cartridge, it's going to be the case, and it's going to be the freaking manuals in it. Like,
I can't wait.
That,
like,
dude,
just
I can't
the size of those
wait.
are those cartridges Like that's what I'm looking forward to. Just having those big bricks of a cartridge that you can just.
I'm gonna feel like a
Put
little
in
kid
there.
again, man. That was some of the best gaming news I have ever heard for somebody
Yeah.
like me. You know, like for some people it's GTA 6, for some people it's Wolverine. For me, it was the AES Plus.
Yeah, that's me too. Because just like Wolf, I was looking at getting the Neo Geo and was almost ready to put the stack down on it. Then that news came out. I'm like, okay, $350 for the white edition. Yeah, no second guessing at all.
White.
Well, come get the metal slug.
Man, we're trying not to. We're trying to keep this, no race in this at all.
It's plastic. It's plastic.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, so even when I catch my girls, they're not huge gamers, but I catch my girls sometimes looking through some of my games. Like they'll go into because I got games everywhere, right? But up in we call it the green room. It's kind of the bonus room. They'll go in there and I see them every once in a while. My daughter Raiden will sometimes have one of these open, right? And she's pulled the book out of it, and she's just like looking at the book, like just kind of looking through it, just because of like the artwork and all the. I mean, like, dude, this is what physical is. Like, they've been slowly killing physical with just, I'm going to give you the case with some artwork and, a disc on it with no, and but that's not what made it special. Like, okay, so you saw this one, right? So we got that one. But then look what happened in the Wii. The Wii still had the booklet too, right? But right at like the Wii U, it was like, nope, no books now. Oh, and then they got backlash, and then they're like, well, you can download the manuals. You can download and print them out for yourself, which is a freaking joke. They still have that for Switch and stuff too, which is just dumb. But I don't know. Like, there's just something about physically having, I mean, even booklets, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, even just physically having
guides,
yeah, the game guides,
booklets and stuff, just being able to look like. I don't want to go on my iPad and look through all this stuff. I don't want to go to GameFAQs. I don't want to go to IGN or any of that kind of stuff to do a walk. I want to look at this kind of stuff. Like, what's this enemy type that I'm fighting here? Oh, okay, and they're weak to this. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's totally taken away. Like what you guys talked about for Christmas. Like opening up something like this under the Christmas tree, right? Like, remember it being wrapped? Remember a Genesis or a Super Nintendo game being wrapped? You didn't know what game it was, but as soon as you saw the size of the box, you knew what it was. And you can kind of shake it. You're like, yep, there's a game in here. I don't know what one it is, but there's a game. And
bring up the strategy guide. That's money left on the table too. Because like I just finished Dragon Quest 3, and I wanted the physical book because I didn't, like you said, I didn't want to keep going to YouTube or get a GameFAQs or whatever. It's like I wanted to get a strategy guide, and there's like one person on Amazon that sold the strategy guide, and I was looking through it, and it was terrible. Like. Yeah, so it's like they need to make official strategy guides again for some of these things. That's just money being left on the table, but nobody wants to make physical stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yet there's a physical resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just gaming, like you said, Wolfman. I mean, they're wanting to get vinyl has been having to come back with records. I mean, Blu-ray players are now getting bought and DVD players and stuff. It's just. Wimbush, you talked about Walkmans are being reproduced again and everything.
Yeah, even record players too.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it's all about ownership. I mean, typically, 20, 30 years ago when you bought something, like it was yours, you bought groceries, they were your groceries. No one's going to come take your groceries out of your house. No one's going to come take your stuff.
They might. I'm in Tacoma, so they would. They would take my groceries.
But I mean, it's the same thing. It's just when you bought it, you owned it. Like that's the whole goods and services. You gave in something, you got something in return. There was a trade, whether it was money or an item for an item or whatever. You bartered, and that was it. And then you went home, and that was yours. You never thought 5 years later, it's like, sorry, we're gonna have to just. That's ours still. You're gonna have to get it back. And it's like, no, like I bought it. That's mine. I still just can't wrap my head around some of this stuff. Like you said, it was a lot of information within a 72-hour period, and it just knocked some people for a loop. And it's just sad. It's just so disheartening.
I mean, it's been happening to me. Nobody wanted to listen. Nintendo did it to me. Oculus did it to me, and people are like, "Oh,
that sucks, man."
Like that.
You got hit by all of those.
Then you ended up buying the Virtual Boy, and Nintendo got you with their
That's
be able
my
to play
fault.
it. Dude,
That was my fault. I don't know why I thought I'd be able to buy Virtual Boy games, but there's like, no, streaming only. Plus, you got to go to our top tier online service. And
Dude.
it's like, oh, come on, man. God, killing me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nintendo.
I mean, so we're all still sad and all this kind of stuff. But what is Wolfman? What is it that you can look forward to if we're not talking about? Let's just talk about gaming in general, not necessarily current brand new games. Like you're going to buy Wolverine physical and all that kind of stuff. So you got still some stuff to look forward to. But what is it that you? How are you able to deal with it? You being the biggest collector that I know. How are you processing? I know you're upset, but is there anything else that you're processing that you're thankful for, at least?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Eric hit the nail on the head. I'm pretty excited about the AES Plus. I mean, my wife's pretty pissed at me. I have 4 games on reserve. That's 90, 80, what's that, $360 worth of games. But those are physical games that I must have, and it's way cheaper than getting the originals. So I'm going to be saving, like Mark of the Wolves. That's one of the ones that's a $1,500, $2,000 game. I mean,
easy.
That's insane.
No, more like five and a clean copy up to $14K.
No, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
$80. Yes.
So, like Eric said, so if you if they play their cards right and they put out new games for it and they're giving you the nostalgia of the big cards, the manuals and all that stuff, that's pretty exciting. I mean, and honestly, I mean, for me, when Sony goes the way of the Dodo with the physical stuff, I mean, I'll be looking towards other types of technology. Like I'll be looking towards things like the Beard Box. Honestly, I mean,
can be played offline.
Yes,
Doesn't need an internet connection.
Exactly.
No shameless plugs, but
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm being dead serious.
I
I
know
mean,
you're
because if you can't buy the games, I'd rather hook up a console that's powerful that could play my Steam library, and then I could play pretty much. I'm sure that thing can handle PS3 and PS4 no problem. PSP, Vita, you start adding all this stuff. I mean, it's gonna be looking towards like tech like that. I mean, what am I gonna do? I mean, I guess if Nintendo ends up becoming the savior because I don't own a Nintendo Switch 2 yet because I'm holding out hopefully for an OLED version because I like to play that stuff portably. I'll go ahead and I'll be a big supporter of Nintendo again, especially if they start putting out games on cart. But the way Eric's talking, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. So,
well, I mean, they just announced too, like that Oblivion, all the DLC, everything. So Nintendo has started making larger carts, but like Eric also touched on, those carts are way more expensive. So they're probably losing. They're probably not even maybe breaking even. But like Oblivion, it's sold out everywhere. The physical copy, if you go look for it, it's sold out everywhere. So if some random person from Sony or Nintendo or even Xbox happens to see this, well, Sony or Nintendo, I don't know, Xbox doesn't see this. But anyways, I'm a big Xbox fanboy. But anyways, so if they could just look at that and listen to one thing that I'm going to say here is there is a demand for it. And you can just look to that. Don't just listen to us talking about it. Look at what happened. They sold out all of the physical copies. Even look at GTA 6. People knew it was digital, and they still went and bought the physical. It's as physical as they could get. You're leaving money on the table with that too, because you could have made it like, all right, the physical copy is going to be $90 or it's going to be $100 starting. That's just the way that it's going to be. People would have bought that. They would have.
Yep.
So, and I get what you're doing. It's right, less moving parts and all that kind of stuff. But, dude, like, listen to us. Like, us as the consumers are telling you, we want physical stuff. Not everybody wants the ease of use, downloadable stuff. And I do downloads for like PC and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do some digital stuff, but I do both because I
That's
have the option.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's ignoring the people that would buy both copies.
Dude, like, guess what? Like, I just talked about it. Guess what? I bought this on PC and I have it on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bought this on Steam and I bought the collector's edition. I mean, it's because
I don't know.
that's my thing.
That's
You
it.
know?
Shredder's Revenge, Cuphead, all stuff that you could get, like Winbush said. The sales right now are ridiculous. Today I bought Carry On, which is a great game, $1.99. I got Mother Russia Bleeds, $2.99.
That's a good
Sonic
game. I just beat
Mania,
it.
like
Yeah.
$1.99.
Gotta
I
finish
mean,
that one.
how could you not pick some of that stuff up digitally? But guess what? If I like the game a lot, I'm getting it physical too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Real quick, Wolf, don't play Mother Russia Bleed in front of your kids.
Don't.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
I-
I'm sure he
I
knows
can't
that.
get the controller to work.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't. I don't want to talk about that one. But yes, it is. It is an odd. It is an odd one to get to work because it. Yeah, we can work through it. I'll help you.
Okay. Sweet. But I mean, just, all these great things that are being talked about. I mean, one of the highlights of what was said today was something Winbush said, and that is you might need to get Congress involved and talk about the rights of consumers when purchasing digital games.
There are laws that are attempting to be passed, like stop
Yeah.
killing games and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, that would be helpful without a doubt because right
It's
now,
not
I mean,
a
you're just
full
holding your-
solution. But
No.
yeah.
And they're
No, it's not
and
a
it's-
full
they're not gonna-
solution.
and they're not going to force them to make physical games. If they just choose, I'm not going to make physical games. That's
yeah,
just
they
it.
don't have to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but at the same time, they could force them to give you their digital rights to your digital games,
that's true.
just like with the movies.
they-
Like that
It'd be
should
cool if they make them do either
They-
one.
They could have done that already, but they're specifically not doing that. They're saying, no, if you want to play this, you have to agree to this. And so
You
and
have
I
to
could
agree
easily
to our
just see them.
terms.
I could easily just say, nope, that's it. If they don't want to pay and they don't want to say yes to this, then you can't play it. That's it. You're not going to have it because they've been doing that now. Like they could. You saw CD Projekt Red did that with Cyberpunk. Like they
Yeah.
could do it. Most companies are just like, no. Like Eric said, they don't care about us enough to do that. It's not in their best interest to do that.
I
Not
mean,
in
it
the
would never
shareholders'
happen,
best
but I
interest.
wish people would speak with their wallets. That's like I
Mhm.
wanted GTA 6, but I'm just on principle. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm not.
doing it.
I'm
Same
not
thing with
buying
the Nintendo
Nope.
Switch.
I did. I
Nintendo
was
Switch
when that
too,
came out.
Yeah,
No way
I'm
am
just-
I buying that.
Nope.
And you guys hear how ridiculous it is? $80. You don't even get the full game. You
Yes,
can't do any
$100.
custom stuff.
Mhm.
You can't go into a lot of the stores, a lot of the buildings. It's almost like a paywall type thing. If you want full access to the game, it's $100. If you want partial access and you're not able to mod your character or go into a tattoo parlor and get like the custom tattoos, that's $20 extra dollars. That's $100 to do those things.
Which again,
Because
that's
they're already paywalling it.
The game is done. Like that's content that's already done. It's not like back in the day where DLC was worked on afterwards. Like this stuff is already done, so there should be no reason why they're allowed to hide certain aspects of their paywalls. Like it's ridiculous. But people
Just
are
for
paying it.
that alone, people should boycott
The
it. For
people,
that alone.
that's the thing. People are paying for it. So I mean, why would
No.
they stop?
Idiots.
I'm not all that bummed because I mean I've got this. I've never even played it, so I mean like everybody goes to the new one. It'll be new to me. So
I hear GTA 5 is a fantastic game. I've never played it.
It is a great story, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean
that's my game of the
it's
year that
that
year.
along with everything else I gotta do. So I mean honestly, if it were me, it's like, well, what am I looking forward to? It's just like, okay, well, I'm sad that if this happens, physical media dies for me in 2 years, then that'll just be what I've left to buy is 2 years worth. And then after that, I've got so much backlog
Yeah.
that I really don't care and it won't hurt my feelings. I mean, this is PS3, PS4, PS5. And then much like everybody else here, I still love playing my old games. I have them. I can throw them in whenever I want, or I do have emulation with them. I have a portable beard box thing that works flawlessly on it, and I mean, I'll be sad that I can't collect anything new and everything, but I mean, it won't be the end of gaming for me because I still have things to do. So it's their choice. You know, they're not going to miss me. So, but I'll still be able to play because I own disc.
Anybody else got anything you're looking forward to, like that you can see? No. Go ahead, Shadow.
I'm just waiting for a game that comes out, I think, next week. Let me pull up the name. It's basically a spin-off of Sword Art Online, where you're playing as a third party outside of the main characters.
Oh, that's the one where the main characters show up throughout the game at different times, right?
You're literally a beater who played the beta test, know what to do, and you're following along with the entire anime.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's manga.
I did
Is
see
that a
something
single
about
player one, or is that like online?
Single player.
Single. Okay.
Yeah, so for me, it's sad that, I mean, because I don't have a PS5. I wouldn't have a PS2. Shout out to D. Thomas from NC for letting me win that.
You mean Switch 2?
Switch 2, sorry. Switch 2. I apologize. I don't have an Xbox Series X, but here's the thing. That just means that that's money that I'm not spending on those, and the retro catalog is huge. Huge.
Yeah. Love
Huge.
it.
Physical games are huge. That just means, all right, so I'm not spending $800 on this PS5. That's a lot of retro that I can buy, or maybe not. I mean, it depends on the game.
Right.
Yeah, it's the market.
Probably not, actually.
But,
I mean, you might get like 5 games.
I have some expensive taste on a lot of the stuff, but I mean, but that's what I'm getting at. Like for me, it's like there's always going to be gaming for me, and then once I own it, it's mine. It doesn't bum me out that I'm probably not going to be able to hang out and play GTA 6 with my buddies. Yeah, because I mean, I would have bought it on PC, but the way that everything is it's rubbed me so the wrong way, that I might just out of spite not buy it. I'm dead serious. I am super stubborn. These guys know it. Like the guys in this call, they know I am wicked stubborn. It is my freaking money. And when I feel like I'm being pushed in a direction that I don't want to go into, I'm not doing it. Like, that's just it. I'm not. Like, I will put my foot down, stomp it out, and just be like, nope, you can't make me. And I'm getting there with GTA 6. And it's unfortunate because it looked like fun. I was looking forward to playing it with some of you guys, but I'm just like, I'll just have to play something else because I'm just out of principle. I'm probably not going to get it just because of how all this
there's
is going.
so many games out there too. It's like there's always going to be something to play, right? So
yeah.
And I'm right there with you, Larson, because it takes place in my backyard. So I mean, I was really looking forward to it and everything. And, you know, it's a play off of Vice City, which is still my favorite Grand Theft Auto to this day. And I was looking forward to it, but I mean, the stunts they pulled, it so turned me off, and I'm just no thanks.
And they didn't tell anybody. That's the thing. Like, they didn't tell anybody that the physical edition was not going to have the code. It had to get dropped by everybody when they're like, they open it up. They're like, wait, there's just a code in here? Like, they didn't, GTA didn't like, what's it, Rocksteady?
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar. Yeah, now Bebop. We were talking about Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles. But they didn't. That's the whole thing. Is like they knew that these were getting printed out and sealed up and everything with no physical disc inside, and they didn't say anything. They said nothing.
Because they wanted you to buy it, so they got your money, and then
be disappointed. Yeah,
but
because it's a digital code, we can't issue a refund.
But that for me, that's them just kind of them being dishonest in what they were doing. They knew they were going to get backlash, and rather than taking the backlash early and then that affecting the sales, they waited till the sales happened. And I don't like that stuff. I don't like when companies do that. And I understand it's business, but like I'm in sales myself, and I see how other companies operate. And yeah, sometimes they're profitable. I won't operate that way because I don't like it. It's not ethical in my eyes. Yeah. Just because it's legal and good for business doesn't necessarily mean it's ethical for me as a consumer. And so I'm just like, that's my biggest issue. And so that's my biggest pushback. But again, luckily for me, I have all these games. Like I'm playing Alundra right now, trying to go back through it again. Like I don't have to worry about them pulling it off of the shot, like pulling it out of my digital library. I'm just gonna turn it on my CRT right here and just play it a little bit. So that's the bonus for me. Is like I have the physical games. Sorry for those of you that are getting into the physical now, which a lot of you kids are buying movies and physical games and stuff, and the retro market is crazy. But movies and vinyl and all that kind of stuff is coming back, and even VHS. Winbush, you were talking about VHS. I've seen it too. It's just I think that it's going to be a good thing if the younger generation starts to get into actually having something tangible again. And I'm hoping that that's the turn that we're starting to get into.
Hey guys, I gotta go. But I wanted to say this was a lot of fun. Thank you for giving us a soundboard and stuff for our frustration and stuff. And yeah, collect physical media. That's all I'm gonna say.
Agreed.
Yeah. Problem
Thank you
solved.
for your services, sir.
Problem solved with Eric. You guys go check him out. Backlog Arcade with Eric. Great stuff. Beard Box. Look into it. We already touched on it. Freaking awesome. I can't wait to touch on it more. But anyways, Eric, thanks again for being here, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye, Eric.
Later.
Nice.
Now, before we go any further, there might be now for the joke. There might be one way GTA 6 might be purchasable if they have a certain Florida man rocking out in the middle of a hurricane.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I would be doing weird stuff in that game. So
yeah.
If I played it.
No, I mean, I just had to make the joke there.
Yep.
I think they might do a physical copy of GTA 6. I just think they're going to wait till the street release date because they're big on leaks. Yeah. And you know how, like, especially with mom and pop shops, like, I know this happened with GTA 5, like, the mom and pop shop kind of early, and they broke it, like, a week early. Like, they were selling it to people before the game was supposed to come out. So I think that they want to keep an iron grip on it because they don't want the stories to leak or anything. So I can see maybe in a month or two after the game is released that they're like, okay, we have a physical edition, but it's almost like too little too late in my eyes, you know?
They should have announced it right at the beginning, though. Like, hey, this, because right now it's like it feels like they're being dishonest. Like, all right, we're getting some pushback, so maybe we should do this. But even now, they haven't officially announced that there is going to be a physical edition. Like, there's no problem with them doing that. If that was their plan, even now they're like backtracking. Yep, we got to release it, but they still haven't done that. So they could. You're right. Just like Sony could go back to printing it, but I don't think they've shown their hand. So even if they do that, it's still, I don't know. I'm upset at the whole situation.
You caught us, but we're not changing.
Yeah, it's either they just, because they haven't denied that they're going to make this, but they haven't denied that they're going, they're not denied, but it's just, and maybe they knew that Sony was going to announce that before. And like they're just like, we're just making diskless anyway because that's how you're going to go anyway.
They have enough money, Rockstar. If they really wanted to print,
they just made $3 million on pre-orders.
They could do it.
That's the whole thing, and they haven't announced it yet. Even with the backlash they got, they're probably loving it right now because they were in the crosshairs. Yeah, they were in the crosshairs. Everybody was freaking hating on them as soon as they announced the code in a box and all digital for GTA 6. Sony saved them by blowing their own foot off like a diabetic person that chose to, eat a whole, bucket of Skittles, right? That Sony did that to themselves and took all of the Was that too much? That was too much. But Sony took all of that heat. Sony took all of that heat from them. So now they're like, oh, sweet, thanks, Sony. And Sony's like, wait, what? Wait, what's going on? So I think Rockstar is like holding back, like, because they're just like, now I don't think that they're talking about us again. So we already made a bunch of money on pre-sales. We'll wait until it gets closer while everybody's still angry at Sony. I'm like, dude, this was not planned out well. Like, Sony, you should have never said any of this stuff out, especially after, like, what was it, 2 days, Winbush? 2 days after the 500, Studio Canal movies?
Every 2 days has been something else.
And then a day later, now it's the whole account thing. It was 2 days later. God, what are you going to do in 2 more days?
Online saying that they talked to people at Sony and they said that Sony didn't expect this amount of pushback. Like, they seriously thought that they could just announce it and it was just going to be another, announcement because they figured that everybody was buying stuff digital anyway. So they thought a few people might get upset, but they weren't expecting it to kind of be like it's on like national, like my local news did like a
Yeah.
news story on it. Like it became
Oh,
that
yeah.
big of a story, and I don't think they saw that coming. Like I don't know if
Well, they're idiots then.
they're so
Yeah.
much in their bubble that they don't have
They
an
do,
idea
but-
of what's going on. But
They're
it's just like,
chodes.
Yeah. To be fair, any kind of publicity is good publicity,
Yeah,
even when it's
that's right,
negative
good or
publicity.
bad.
So what Sony could do, what they could do, and I was thinking about this, is they could announce, you know what, you're right, the backlash, we agree, we said it, and they could show back. We said this back then, you know what, we looked back, we say it again now. And they could be the savior. That like it could be a great PR thing for them to go back. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know.
I seriously think they'll make an option because they do it with the PlayStation 5 now, right? Like they
Yeah.
have the all digital edition, and if you want the disc drive, they sell that to you separately. So I can see them using this as
Yeah.
an opportunity, saying
I
like, all
think-
right, you know what? We'll sell you a disc drive if you want it, and that's going to be another $50.
I think that's a ploy from them because if you look at it with the PlayStation, the PS5 Pro, I mean, it's what, $850 for the thing, and then I think it's what, $150, $200 for the
I think
disc
it's
drive.
150
Yeah,
for this
150.
drive, so that makes it an even
You add-
grand.
It's ridiculous.
That's the one I would have bought though, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to now.
It sucks for people. I know people that were waiting for this generation to come to an end because they usually do that, right? Because you figure at this point, this is when your systems are like $200, right? And
Yeah.
I know GTA is coming out, so it's like they were waiting for the cheaper system, and then they could buy Grand Theft Auto and then have that for a couple of years, and nobody expected it to go from $500 to $900 where we are. Usually we're in the $200 range at this point, so it's like
Yeah, it was like
the people
this.
that actually waited, like
Yep.
they're the ones that are really getting screwed right now. Like people that didn't want to be day one, they're totally fine with just waiting a little bit and getting the cheaper console. Like they're all getting screwed right now.
That was me. I don't have a PS5 because I was like, there's not
Yeah.
really any games that I need to have right now. I'll wait a little bit and then pick it up. Yep. And then this last year happened. Boom! Just blew that one up.
Even
So-
with the Switch 2, they said the Switch 2 is going up in September.
Yep. $50.
It's
And then Microsoft
For
has
what?
their console,
For
what, 2 price increases?
Yeah, they're gonna hit
Announced
nine.
the
I think
last
they're hitting
year.
900 or something, and they're not even doing the 2 terabyte one anymore because that would have been like
yeah, they
over a
killed
grand.
it too.
Yeah.
And that was going to be the same price of a PS Pro. So it's like, yeah, they can't have a Series X out there and be more expensive than the Pro version.
No.
See, and the Switch 2 has been out for 13 months now because it was June, I think, is when it was right around Father's Day. I think last year it came out. I mean, what is in 13 months? What is your system sellers right now? Mario Kart World and what, Donkey Kong? Maybe that's
No,
it.
Mario Kart World, and then there's a bunch of Tamagotchi Life, Pokopia. Those are big ones for it.
Yeah, Pokemon
Star
stuff.
Fox just came
Star
out.
Fox is a huge one for it too. I guarantee
Yeah.
you that one's gonna be massive. I haven't bought that.
Okay,
one yet.
that one I'll give you,
But
I
that
mean,
one's
still
on the
though,
physical-
13
That one's on the physical, the card too. The whole game is on the card,
Yeah.
so that one might come to this guy at some point.
I would, but my point is you're gonna increase the system and stuff. But it's like what is making you people think I've got to have a system now and stuff because of now in a year you have less than a handful of games that are just specific to your console that are
It's what I said today in our thread. I said every system has a handful of great games. Okay, then you got a handful of good games, and a majority of the games on a system are mediocre to F. They suck,
Mhm.
and you're basically reiterating, Wales, like exactly the way systems work, right? Switch 2's been out 13 months. There's what, 4 or 5 good games. PlayStation 5's been out for what, 3 years? There's what, 30
5 years now.
to 40
More.
good
I think it's
excellent
been
games,
5
good
years.
excellent
Did
games.
it come out in 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
2020? Okay.
So
I'm
yeah,
wrong.
5-6 years.
Five-
No, but it's
five-
but no.
Oh, well, 6 years now because it was holiday.
But that's good.
6 years, 5 years.
But
4
it
years,
feels
what the
like
hell?
3 because nobody could ever get one. I've only had mine since 23 because they were always gone and scalpers had them. So I mean, it just took because it hit when COVID came out and it just made everything impossible.
So I guess my point of that is that makes my point even better, right? Because it's out 6 years. I could probably tell you games that would be considered an 80 and above, probably 40 to 50 games in 6 years. Everything else is mediocre.
Yeah, with all games they have, with all consoles they have shovelware.
Yeah, absolutely. So
but at least it's physical.
Like that since NES.
At least it's physical. I'll take the shovelware.
Exactly.
It's true. Physical shit.
There's a lot of digital shovelware out there.
Yeah. So
I think we should start to wrap this up.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking too. So hey guys, so I really appreciate you letting me, like Eric said, let me vent. I like to hear your guys' perspective on it. It is a little bit of doom and gloom, but there's still some good things out there. Like, and it's not the end of the world. It's just Sony ending their physical production at this point. Who knows? That might change. But yeah, I mean, gaming
point to bring the arcades back.
Yeah,
yeah, bring the arcades back.
Yeah,
you can't get more physical than that.
Yeah, but
make arcades
that's the
again.
thing. Yeah, but look at how expensive PCs are right now because it's the hardware. That's what Eric was talking about. Dude. So arcades are so expensive right now. But yeah. Anyway, so hey, Winbush, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule again to hang out with us and share some knowledge and with your background. It's always a joy, and then you're just a good dude, and I just appreciate you being in here.
Thank you guys, appreciate it as always, man.
Yeah, you guys check out his channels. He's got his Winbush channel and he's got his Winbush Gaming channel. He's always putting out some great stuff. He just gave away just a couple months ago like a course that was going to be gone. This is the type of person he is. Rather than have the course go away, he put it out there for everybody. That's the heart.
Yeah,
that's the
thing
heart
about digital. Like the whole digital shop was going away, and I was like, all right, well, that's the thing. If I would have released my course on disc, then I wouldn't have had to do that. So yeah, I guess I'm part of the problem, right?
Yeah, that's all right. So, but again, thanks, man. And Shadow Gaming, man, I'm happy that you slid in there right under the wire. Glad to have you in here. That sultry voice. What's going on with you? Besides Dantron 69K playing in the background, I see that.
Yeah. I figured you'd see the Pragmata run. Getting back into stuff. I have a video I'm putting together real fast since everybody's starting to do their collections of consoles.
Nice.
Not big, but it's going to get posted.
I blame you, Winbush.
And now that I have
something, right?
Yeah. And now that I have control back of the podcast page, hopefully getting that up and running again. And I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching will see some familiar faces besides the usual crew.
Nice. Whale of a Time Retro. Wales, the man. Team USA, let's go.
Let's go.
Yep.
250 a day ago, and man, happy anniversary and Independence Day, everybody. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
We got, like I said, I'm working on just flipping some shorts, getting some little things out there. I need to finish Split Second. We need to move on to some other games and stuff. I got plenty to go. I actually do thank Winbush for that. I think that was a great idea with the physical media thing. I've held up just some random games and stuff other than my NHL collect, which is half here and then at another spot because when my kids go stay at my parents' house. That's where all the rest of my basic PS2, Wii, all the way back to NES, all my games and accessories and all that stuff is there. So I plan also on making a couple videos, one here, one there. All my handhelds are here, but just show off your physical media. It doesn't matter how big, how small. Just show that it matters. Show that it means something to you, and hopefully it gets some kind of movement started, and we can get our voices heard. Everybody says we're no big deal. We're boomers. We're not it's you get with the times, you thirsty old fart. But I want to own my stuff. Sorry, that's just how it is, and I don't got to worry about any things I have not working because they're mine. That's how it is. So it just, people need to start taking it seriously and stop the laughing part about it. So physical media forever, guys. And thanks for having me on this. It was, like Eric said, it was a good way to get some things off your chest. It hurts. I'm like Wolf. I feel gutted I feel betrayed. Not a good feeling, but I mean, if they're going to stop physical media, at least it means my backlog will stop growing. So I mean, that's a good thing to look forward to, and it's still new to me. So I'm looking forward to playing some games. Always will.
Yeah, and Wolfman.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
So I do not have a channel of any sort. I am going to plug my son's YouTube channel. He's been trying to do some more stuff with gaming. I'm trying to get him to get out of Fortnite and start exploring some other games, and he's opening up Pokemon packs and stuff. But it's Lobosack, LOBOSACKYT for YouTube. So you check him out, give him a like or support. He only has 42 subscribers, unlike Dantron, who has, going to be hitting 10,000 subscribers in the next couple months. So, which is amazing.
You got to start somewhere, right? Dan had 42 at 1.2.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all the hard work and effort.
Of course.
And I will not be putting out a video showing my physical media. I've decided I'm not going to do that for reasons that I could discuss with you guys off camera.
I understand. I get it.
That's fine.
It's the museum code and rules. You're not allowed to have flash photography inside the museum. I mean, it's totally understandable.
Yep, exactly.
That rules are rules, dude. You don't got to say nothing further.
Yeah.
It's just no photography of the exhibits. So
that's right. No flash photography of the exhibits.
You guys
you need to lock in your phone.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say one thing. Again, thanks for hanging out, you guys. But to everybody else that's watching this or that does watch this, I know we're talking about physical media and games a lot, and we touched on movies and stuff. It's all physical media. I'm talking books, magazines, records, even 8-tracks. I don't even care. Like all physical media that's out there. Like don't let it disappear. It's there. The problem is the older stuff is finite. And I've said this before, like they're not making any more of some of this stuff. So you got to understand how like the retro video game market is just crazy. But if you get in and you know that you're the type of person that wants to get into owning your movies, for example, go and buy it on Blu-ray, go and buy it on DVD, go visit one of those mom and pop shops that have it there and start building your own collection that's yours. Like yours. My kids can go upstairs and pull out Gummy Bears and play the DVD of the Gummy Bears show, right? Or DuckTales without having to go and stream it anyway, right? And sometimes they don't even have it to stream. I know those ones that do, but you know what I'm saying? So you can do that for yourself. Protect it, but don't also think about maybe not shunning people that do like physical media if you just like digital. Don't talk to us like we're dumb. Don't talk to us like we waste our money and all this kind of stuff. It's all our own opinions. It's all our own, but really it's good for customers in general. The more ways you have to buy stuff, and if you buy something and you have it, it's tangible, it's yours, then it's yours. Not leasing for a short time and then, being able, hopefully it'll work again in another 10 years when you decide that you really want to play it again. So that's all I'm going to say. I really appreciate, again, you guys hanging out. I appreciate you guys watching. And until next time. Later.
Peace.